Welcome to another Sunday morning conversation, everybody. Today, my guest is Adam Feigh. Welcome to another Sunday morning conversation, everybody. Today, my guest is Adam Feigh. He is a professional triathlete, but he still works part-time as an OR nurse out in Grand Junction, Colorado. He's a really interesting dude. He's a really interesting dude for someone who is trying to, what's the word I want to look for? I don't want to say vanilla because that feels insulting to him, even though vanilla is a hell of a flavor on its own. It's so complex. But, he's not controversial. He flies under the radar. But he's done a hell of a job this year. He's got 2 Ironmans in the books, and he's got 2 more scheduled. Plus, he Kona qualified. So possibly February, he might be racing again for Kona. So please enjoy. We talk a little bit nursing, a little bit COVID, and a lot of triathlon. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Like keep momentum and all that. But yeah, it's Tulsa. I was still like getting warmed up into back into racing. I feel like this year I had to like relearn how to race after not racing in 2020. Like refiguring out hydration, nutrition, pacing, like where I'm at now as far as like ability wise, because like I'm a better athlete than I was in 2019 when I was racing before, and it's like, well, what can I get away with now? Like and swim and on the bike and all that.
Yeah, it's been a weird year for me too, because I guess for the same reasons that, it's technically my first full year back post TBI. 2019 was somewhat of a good a year, but COVID's kind of really, I don't know if it messed with my head, but I'm a slower athlete and I'm trying to, I guess, relearning things, but I'm also trying to find the motivation to do it again. I have a lot of races because I like to race. I like to go places and do stuff, but I haven't found my groove yet, though. But I mean, with Tulsa and Lake Placid, you seem, have at least some sort of a groove. 834 and 839 are pretty respectable.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been a long time since I've done like a fast course per se. So I'm excited to eventually do one of those.
Yeah, and you're not going to St. George, right? I didn't see you on this pro start list.
I'm not. No, I didn't qualify for 70.3 Worlds.
No, but you got the Kona slot at Lake Placid. And that was a fast. That was definitely a fast.
Yeah, I'll take that
marathon.
Yeah. No, it like finally all came together for like a good run. Like I've always had like GI issues or issues like something preventing me from like running well, and
you moved up from, you were at least 10th, maybe a little bit further back, and you moved up all the way to 5th. So that was a hell of a run.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty satisfying to pass people. I mean, and move up like that. Yeah, I mean, I got off the bike and I was like, oh, I suddenly have like really good feeling legs, despite like the last 30 miles of the bike being like really bad for me. Like I was just holding it together at the end of the bike, and then normally you'd expect it to transfer to the run, but nope, like immediately felt good. And I guess I nailed the nutrition part, which I think helped a lot. But yeah, I mean, and that's not an easy run course. There's a lot of steep, long grinding, like uphills, downhills and stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine, because you're essentially at the Catskills, or is the I forget which one it is, or it's the Adirondacks, but you're up in the mountains up in upstate New York.
Yeah.
So the bike course is like 6,000 feet of elevation gain too.
Yeah, I mean, it was, in the way that the elevation is it's not quite rolling. It's for the most part, climbs and actual descents, like especially like the Keene descent, which is like a really long descent. Like I'm not sure how long you're going. I think it's 7 miles. 7-mile descent that you're hitting above 50, like easily, miles per hour. And yeah, then the first time through it was raining. So that was, a little terrifying.
Well, you're doing Chattanooga, right?
Yeah. So, obviously,
What do you know about the course? Because that was my last IM that I did.
Yeah, I've done the last 2 iterations of Ironman Chattanooga. So
I was gonna say, coming down from Chickamauga, you'll easily hit 50 miles an hour too, going downhill.
yeah, no, that Lake Placid one though, I gotta say that one beats it a little bit. I think it's just, I mean, I think my top speed in Placid was 56. I think some of the guys were like 59. Oh,
Yeah, man. I mean, were you on the aero bars that whole time too? Because on Chattanooga, that one steep descent, like I was on them for a while. I'm like, oh, I'm a little scared now.
yeah. No, for the most part, I mean, yeah, I feel more stable in the aero bars, really. I mean, obviously you don't have access to the brakes in the aero bars, but if you know the turns, it should be fine.
And I'm guessing, well, Chattanooga's not as difficult as a run course as Lake Placid, but it does have its obstacles. Like there's the hill on Battery, and then there's that massive hill on Barton.
Yeah, Barton is a big one. I mean, actually, now I think about it, Barton in Lake Placid, if I had to compare the courses, Barton's a little bit steeper, like just a little bit, whereas the ones in Lake Placid are like longer.
I don't know. Barton is pretty long climb.
Yeah, I mean, it's what, half a mile or so though? I mean,
yeah,
Lake Placid were like 2 or 3 miles, or like a couple.
I was gonna say the nice thing about Barton is it's the North Chattanooga, and everybody's out there partying on their lawns.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty festive atmosphere.
Yeah, there wasn't much like spectator stuff going on in Lake Placid, especially on the run course when you get down to like River Road, and I mean it flattens out a little bit there, but there's not really, it's countryside. There's not really anyone there.
Oh, I mean there's one house like closer to the top of the hill when you're first going over at Barton, and they had a few kegs that they were out front. There was a guy a few houses further down the hill who brought out a couch and his flat screen TV and was watching a Bills game. He was pissed because the Bills are pretty good now, but they sucked 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, they've sucked for a long time.
Yeah. In 2018, I was spectating the race, and I brought a 30-pack of Miller Lite, and I camped out on there for 6 hours with my ex-fiance. I drank all the Miller Lite. She drove. So, but it was a good time.
Yeah, and there's like, a bunch of restaurants like throughout the course, and whenever they see people starting to come through, they'll start cheering and stuff randomly.
Yeah, it's a great race because like the whole town gets behind it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's pretty excited, and like it's mostly a metropolitan area, so it's like actually a lot of people out.
It's one of my favorite places to race. Like, I do the half. I've done the half 3 times, the full once. Chattanooga waterfront. I did the 4.5-mile Chattanooga or rat race swim. What else have I done there? I think that's it. I love that city. That's where I actually proposed to my ex. We went to, I honestly, if you go there with your wife, there is a B&B up on the bluff. It's called the Bluff View Inn in the Arts District. And the window overlooks the swim course. It's when you're swimming downriver, it's that cliff. It sits on top of that cliff that's right before you get down by the river walk.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Sweet.
So with Kona, we all know Kona is not going to happen in February because nothing's really going to improve. But
yeah, we'll see.
Have you started to figure out, like, are you going to wait till, what are you going to start your training plan for Kona? Are you going to do it in anticipation for February?
Yeah, I mean, I've made all these plans for training and stuff, and I'm trying to be as flexible as possible. But I mean, here it's, sort of dead of winter. It gets pretty cold. Outdoor training is hit or miss here around that time of year.
You don't do Zwift?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of Zwift. I mean, I'm even doing Zwift right now just for like specificity and stuff. But I mean, you still need heat training and stuff, which you can do inside, but it's really not quite as effective for the most part. But yeah, I mean, my tentative plan, which I'm sure will change 1,000 times, is Ironman Chattanooga, Ironman Cozumel at the end of November, and then Kona in February. So basically, like, build for each race, take a couple weeks downtime, and build again, and sort of like rinse and repeat. So
that's 4 fulls this year. Do you feel like do you think that's too much, or are you able to rebound from all that in time?
I mean, I think I can rebound pretty well. Yeah, I definitely like racing more rather than less.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been a while since I've had a good half, and I enjoy fulls a good bit more. So I don't think, I mean, I think the main demand is muscularly, like, and how much you tear yourself up on that run. And I mean, I guess if I keep running well and like improving it there and like getting quicker, then that's more muscular damage. So a little bit more recovery, but when it doesn't take, it's more about when you can start rebuilding for the next one, I think. So yeah.
So do you have any training partners in there, or is it just you're all by yourself doing all your own thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few people that I occasionally like join up with, but for the most part, there's not many people here in Grand Junction. I mean, I'm the only pro triathlete, definitely only male pro triathlete here. And I mean, there's good cyclists and not a whole bunch of like great swimmers. Like the community is smaller. There are people that are here that I can train with. It's just like less to pick from, really.
And so why did you well, I guess there's that place that you swim. It's not very big, is it?
Oh, that one that I posted about. Yeah. There's a lot of places to swim here. That's actually just a more recent one that I've jumped in there a couple times. But I mean, there's so many places to swim here. Like, there's places that are, a few miles in like distance across lakes and stuff like that up in the mountains and everything. And there's smaller ones. I mean, yeah, there's probably at least a dozen within an hour's drive that I could like go jump into.
Atlanta doesn't have that kind of luxury. Like, I have the Chattahoochee River, which is it's like a quarter mile from my condo, but it's polluted and you can't swim in it because you'll get, if it rains, you're going to get E. coli.
Yeah.
But like the lakes are almost an hour, the 2 or 3 lakes that you can swim in are like an hour away, and it's not convenient. So I rarely do any open water swimming.
I mean, that's one of the really big benefits of here. There's just like so many open water spots that whether it's public or somebody, you go jump in. But yeah, it's like, even I've done travel assignments in Denver, and like even like Denver, Boulder, that area, there's not many places to swim because they're either like private property or like designated as like drinking water, so you can't swim in it and stuff like that. And it's all these like restrictions on where you can swim and stuff. And here it's just sort of like there's a lot of open land and like public access areas. Yeah, so I mean, there's just a ton of them, and most of them are like pretty good on like water quality, as long as it's not like occasionally something will happen and they're not good. Like some of the fish died in one of them recently. It's like, okay, avoid that one for a little bit, but I still have like a handful of other ones I can go jump in.
What made you why did you choose Grand Junction? I mean, it is a little bit, I'm going to say remote. It's obvious. Off the beaten path, I guess, would be a better way to phrase it.
So, I mean, obviously I did the travel nursing, and, Rebecca and I were sort of trying to figure out where we wanted to end up living, from South Carolina. So we went a few places, and I did an assignment here at Grand Junction. And after like a few days, we were like, well, this place is pretty awesome. And we were pretty sure we didn't want to leave. And then after like spending a few months here, I mean, pretty much just solidified that we really love it here. But yeah, I mean, the training for me is awesome. Like the weather is really good, the people are really nice, and it's like, yeah, there's nothing bad to say about it, really.
not a lot of pros, at least that I know, still work normal careers. They've got like coaching gigs on the side, stuff like that. But I mean, being nursing is an actual profession, you know. And how has that impacted your training? You know, obviously you're only working 2 days a week, but they're 10-hour days. And I don't know if you're on your feet the whole time, right? So it kind of sucks a little bit of energy out of your legs.
I mean, it's a lot better now than it used to be. So, I mean, I sort of segmented it into different areas. Like when I was doing travel nursing, I was full time, and that was definitely tough because, I mean, there's only so many hours in a day. And I found that I respond pretty well to higher volume, which, you know, it's hard to work 40 hours a week plus call, and then train 20 plus hours, and then have any somewhat like semblance of a family life, or, you know, just give up on the social life part. But so at the beginning of 2020, I took some months off. I, you know, tried to do the whole like full-time pro triathlete going into the 2020 season, and then COVID happened, and it was like, uh-oh, there's no races. This is a very bad timing. So yeah, and with COVID, it was actually, yeah, I mean, with COVID, it was actually even like a worse, weird situation for me, because my specialty being the operating room, they were canceling elective cases and everything.
Yeah.
So I suddenly had a hard time finding a job as an OR nurse for a little bit there. So yeah, eventually I was able to start back part-time, and now it's a lot more manageable with the 2 10-hour shifts. But, you know, I'm racing guys that don't do that. And obviously it's, I mean, I count them as my rest days, but I'm on my feet for the most part, for most of those days. And yeah, it's not really rest.
What's your footwear in the hospital?
It changes. I mean, right now I've just got some standard like Nikes, regular like running shoes. I've used Tokas before. I've used the OFOs, however you pronounce that, the super cushion ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've messed around with different ones, but yeah, it doesn't matter a whole lot. I've got some the Speedhound Pro Performance like recovery system, the compression boots now. So like using those after sort of helps with the like whole like standing all day thing.
Yeah,
I find afterwards.
Now those, I mean, there's like, I don't know, many different brands that do those. Is that the purpose of Speedhounds? Do they push the lymphatic system? Is that tries to flush it out like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different ways you can look at it. There's the, you know, sort of like a light massaging action, so that's beneficial. The one setting, you know, helps push, well, basically helps with blood flow. So if there's any waste or any lymphedema going on in your legs, it helps sort of like push that through and helps the body process it some. I mean, it still doesn't like replace like getting good sleep and all that good stuff, but yeah, I mean, especially for me, like I'm pretty prone to running injury stuff. So like getting like my legs fresher, and after like a long day on the feet, like my legs just feel stale and like swollen sometimes. No matter how fit I get, it just doesn't matter.
So with COVID and obviously being in a hospital, you're vaccinated, right? So I
think I was like the first one of all the nurses to get
nice.
vaccinated.
So I mean, do you have any? Has it become an issue? And I've been reading the past few days that there's another variant coming out that may or may not be the vaccine may or not affect. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I haven't read about any other variants other than, you know, the Delta one, obviously. I mean, I get most of my news from like NPR and stuff.
That's what I do too. The variant they're talking about is I think it's Mu. I mean, they're just cycling through variants of Greek letters, right?
I'm sure there's going to be more. I mean, that's what viruses do. So, yeah, I mean, I wish it was ubiquitous. Not even all healthcare workers want to get vaccinated for one reason or another, which is a bit of a letdown for me personally. I mean, I feel like it should be the obvious choice, but yeah, I mean, a lot of hospitals are going the way of saying you have to be vaccinated by this date, and either have some sort of like exemption for for whatever reason, or or it'll be let go or something, or depending where you're at. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious the places that have lower vaccination rates are having more hospitalizations and deaths from COVID. So yeah, I mean, at the very beginning of COVID, I had the opportunity, like I said, with the OR, I couldn't find a place to work there for a little bit. So I thought about returning to South Carolina and working in the emergency room there at the beginning of COVID. And one of the things that held me back from that was I knew that there would be a lot of pushback on restrictions and people following COVID guidelines in South Carolina. And I didn't want to be in the front lines of people that didn't care. And yeah, I didn't want to risk my own health or my family's to be in that situation.
I can understand that. Georgia is also a red state, so it's in a similar boat, although we're kind of better than Alabama, Mississippi, and South Carolina, and Florida too. So, I mean, Miami was the first of the year. So,
yeah, I'm still friends with all my previous coworkers in South Carolina and stuff. Everything that just in that reaction. So yeah, I mean, it didn't take me too long to start back work here, anyways. In the ORs, I mean, we still see COVID patients and everything, but it's a little bit more controlled environment. We sort of know for the most part who's gonna, like, they've been tested before they come in most of the time, and we can take the proper precautions and all that.
Within the pro ranks, what would you say the percentage, a ballpark idea of how many pros actually have been vaccinated?
No idea. Yeah, I mean, it's not very popular thing to like talk about in the pro ranks. I would assume there's some that aren't. I mean, it's probably also in part due to the vaccine availability coming out later for some people. And obviously triathletes are the healthiest individuals out there, so they're going to be the last ones to get it. Now it's pretty widely available, so I would hope that most people have it.
Yeah, and for the most part, everybody who wanted it already got it.
Yeah, exactly. But like back in March with Challenge Miami that I know you were at, like I think Annie Haug got tested positive for COVID, and around that time frame, she probably didn't even have access to the vaccine yet. But and there were some Americans that just tested positive at the Collins Cup. I don't know if they were vaccinated or not, but I mean, you still can test positive with the vaccine. It's more of the
it's milder, and you don't have the same risk of being ending up on, I guess, a respirator, because. But
yeah, I think there is danger in the fittest individuals, whether it's triathlon or not, think I'm super fit and COVID can't touch me type of deal. Place a lot more pride in their immune system than probably should.
Oh, I mean, COVID kind of scares the shit out of me, because when I was in college in 2009, it was Halloween, and I was making out with some girl at a party, and like the next day or two, I couldn't get out of bed. I was hurting. Turned out I got the swine flu. I'm like, I'm never going through anything like this again.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just so many aspects of like reasons that it terrifies me. Like I would, if I had the ability to do this sport or any sport taken away due to respiratory issues or cardiac issues due to COVID, that would be terrible just by itself. But then I know, multiple people personally that have died or in family that has been in the ICU from it. So that's like, I mean, it's no joke. And even though I am super fit, that doesn't mean that much when it comes to viral infections.
So go ahead.
No, yeah, that was about it.
So considering the respiratory issues that come with COVID, and potentially for pro athletes that got it, how do you feel about, I don't know how many actually have been prescribed albuterol as an inhaler. I don't know how you feel about them getting that for therapeutic use exemptions. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I have slightly mixed feelings, but uh, I mean, we all play under the same rules, and if whoever like it's approved and it's not under the table or anything like that, if it's as long as it's approved and good, then it's fine. It's whatever. I mean, I could see the argument for like if you're not able to do the race, like if you're not able to train and race without taking supplements and stuff, then natural selection has said you shouldn't be a pro triathlete. I could understand that, but I think it all comes down to that we're playing on an even playing field. We all know the rules. As long as everyone abides by the rules that's been set out, then I'm happy. If it's when they don't, then I'm pretty like I'm all for like lifetime bans and all that stuff, because there needs to be serious repercussions or else it's not going to prevent anything.
I mean, Starkey got popped for albuterol because he didn't wait for his therapeutic exemption. What are your thoughts on that one?
I share some sponsors with Starkey, so I probably shouldn't say negative things, but
Yeah,
I think he shouldn't have raced. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward, and I think it's what a fair amount of pro triathletes think. It was a stupid situation, and basically just shouldn't have raced, knowing that. I mean, understand it's livelihood and that's how he makes money, but those are the rules, and I agree to those rules. And I had a lot of similar thoughts on the whole doping system and TUEs and everything as him, and I thought it pretty unfair and sort of strange that he would make that choice. But I'm very glad I wasn't in that situation. But I've also raced myself sick multiple times and refused to take anything, because it wouldn't have been allowed or legal. So, yeah.
So, man, what are your plans for the future outside of Kona? What do you foresee for yourself in the next couple of seasons? What are the goals, milestones? What do you see for your future?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It would be great if I could get to the point full time and seeing where that takes me. I mean, I think I'm sort of straddling the line right now where I can do pretty darn well with the current life situation I have. But I mean, if I can keep improving like I have year over year, then I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. But I also, one thing that I always consider is other guys are really fast, and I have belief in myself, but I also am super inspired by these other guys and what they're doing out on the race course. Like a 240 something marathon off the bike is like a normal thing now, and it's like that's amazing. And if other people improve, then I'm super competitive and I want to beat them, but I don't have control over their life or their races. So as far as the results go, I'd love to be on the top step, and goal of mine is win some Ironmans and all that stuff. But it's basically just to get as far as I can, and obviously not sacrifice family life for it or anything like that. So,
do you get your health care through work or your wife, or how does that work for you?
I do it through my work currently, though I could switch it to my wife's work pretty easily now. When I was doing travel nursing, it was through this healthcare ministry type of deal, which was interesting coverage. They didn't cover a whole lot, but now it's a bit more stable and normal, just through my work.
So is your plan to, if you became a full-time pro, would you hop on your wife's insurance since we don't have universal health care?
Yeah. That part would be pretty straightforward. I mean, right now there's I'm sort of in this couple-year contract to get us with my work and stuff. So I went Kona, I wouldn't be breaking my contract. Are you there? Hello?
Hey, man.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
I,
my cord came unplugged and I didn't know because I can't see the light.
okay, I wasn't sure which one of us that was.
No,
I was
that's
over,
me.
I was over here trying to like cancel some applications that are open stuff.
Oh, no. So like I'm guessing your internet connection is not the greatest. When your daughter was in there, it was the freakiest thing, right? Because she'd be on your lap, then she would be in the back of the room, and she'd be other, and it would just hop around like it was the Matrix.
Yeah. Let me try this here.
Oh no, it's fine. Like the pictures kind of spotty, but the audio has been fine.
How's this?
That works.
Sweet. I was using the GoPro webcam before, and sometimes that makes it a little jerky.
Gotcha. Ah,
Yeah, I don't think my internet can handle I guess the large,
the
super,
bandwidth.
yeah.
So I guess to follow up with to close it up here, what are your expectations out of Kona? What do if it happens in February or whether it happens next October, whenever it happens, what do you want to get out of it? What's your goals?
Yeah, I still need to like develop that further, especially now that's in February, or well, assuming it's in February. But yeah, I mean, generally, just like most races, it's not going to change a whole lot. I mean, do as well as I can. I want to learn. Like, I'm not going into it to like as the end all be all, as like the only time I'm going to go, and it's going to be my A priority or anything. Like, it's sort of going to be a learning experience. Like, I fully expect to go back again in future years, and I don't sort of want to learn what I can from the race, from the tactics, and like what changes when it's a world championship field. Because I mean, there's the course and learning about the course, and then there's learning about racing with the best guys in the world. And yeah, I'm basically want to take away like as much as I can from the experience, while also doing as well as I can. I mean, I'll probably take some risks, and hopefully I don't blow up and that everything pans out. But yeah, it's I don't have any like expectations of top 10 or a top like a certain placing or anything like that. It's a little bit more vague, I guess.
How early would you plan to go out ahead of the actual race? Week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? I know some pros are out there for like a month early.
Yeah, no, definitely not a month. I want to say if I want to say Tuesday, it's Tuesday or Wednesday is when I'm arriving. I like to stay at home. I mean, obviously it's convenient to stay at home before not spending a ton of time out there. And being at where I'm at, altitude, and then if I'm away for too long, it drops off pretty quickly for me. I feel like so I like to stay comfortable, at home, and then like go to a race with enough time to prepare, but not like so much that I'm just twiddling my thumbs. So
I got you. Hey man, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it.
yeah, it's fun. It's good talking.
Yeah. Hey, last question. How do you pronounce your last name? I don't want to screw this up.
It's Feigh, like try. So yeah, when I like my Instagram handle and stuff, it's Phiathlon. It's just like try to.
Well, I might be at Chattanooga. I don't know. I got to see who all I know is racing, but if I am there, I'll definitely be cheering for you.
Sweet, thanks. Yeah, I'll look for you on the course and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sober now, so I won't be the guy with a 30-pack.
Yeah, I'm probably the least like known and popular pro that I feel like somewhat frequently lands in the top 10. Like I don't know. I feel like I somehow am like just sort of skimmed over by all triathlon media, and like people just somehow don't know who I am. So any extra people cheering for me is like awesome.
Well, why do you think that?
I mean, I think I'm a pretty bland guy as far as triathlon goes. You know, I'm your standard, you know, like white bread, non-controversial pro triathlete. I don't have like a super large social media or anything like that. And yeah, I think last time in Chattanooga, like the tracker messed up and everyone kept calling me Andrew because I think I was somewhere around like Andrew Yoder's placement or Andrew Talansky or something like that. And it's like, huh, I'm not only not getting cheered for, it's like by the wrong name occasionally.
Hey man, whatever it is, right? Oh, good luck, man. I hope your daughter gets better soon,
Yeah, me too.
and hopefully she doesn't pass it on to you.
That's what I'm mostly thinking about right now.
Yeah, kids are kind of I call them disease bags. They're always sick and they're always giving it to you.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I'm glad I don't have any, but
I recover from my respiratory stuff pretty quickly. It's GI stuff that I get torn up with occasionally. That takes me a long time to bounce back from. But respiratory stuff, I generally bounce back from really well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Congratulations again on that Kona slot.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah.